I told my wife that I was unhappy about parts of our relationship, most importantly that I can't talk about feeling in any way negative about our relationship. She was distraught and has been really upset about it for months. She slept in a different bed last night. How do we get better? Over the past 6 to 12 months I've been making a positive changes in my life. There was so much negative before that in my life that it was hard to make heads or tails of what was wrong. I started chipping away. New job, new good habits, new medication, etc. After all this I realized there was something that was still making me stressed, anxious and unhappy, and it happened to be our life. More importantly, what I expressed was that I felt like I couldn't speak up about anything negative in our life. I had been feeling like I'd been sacrificing a lot of what makes me happy to keep her happy. I've been feeling like since we've been together we've constantly shifted towards her ideal lifestyle and away from mine. Money is now a concern, the people I spend time with isn't always ideal, the way we've spent our time and the amount of house upkeep and maintenance has gotten to be too much, etc. She was distraught that so many things were going well in my life except for our relationship. She tried to hold it together for a few weeks after that because she didn't want to make things worse before she confessed that our conversation basically turned her world upside down and she's been worried and upset about it since then. Fast forward a few months and it's been rocky. We have periods of relative ease until something negative comes up, then it's like she has PTSD over the conversation. She brings up how bad it was for her. Last night we had a talk while walking the dog together. After a pretty nice couple of days together where we spent a lot of time, I confessed that while I had a great time with her that I stressed me out that I spent 5 hours that I hadn't planned on working on and eating dinner with her. I mentioned how dinner regularly takes 2 to 3 hours out of my evening after work and that isn't ideal for me. She usually cooks, but I will go to the store, help where I can. More lately we used to just do she cooks I clean, and then clean up. She was clearly upset that I said this. Obviously, maybe not the best timing for me since we had just finished up eating, but the problem in our relationship seems to be a complete inability to discuss anything negative, so I've been more apt to just say if something's bothering me. She said she wants to talk it through after work today and she seemed really discouraged by the entire thing. She slept in a different bed last night, which is usually only reserved for the worst nights. I'm talking to a therapist on Wednesday, so hopefully that helps. All of that said, I really love her, she's amazing. It's just the life that we put together, especially over the last 3-ish years, has gotten away from the life I want to live. Any advice or just talking this through would be helpful. Comment. I read through this twice and I'm confused about what you're unhappy with. You didn't give many tangible examples other than that dinner takes too long, so it's hard to give any sort of feedback here. Everything you mentioned in the discussion is what's bad about her and about your relationship, and not at all about how you no longer do things that add to your quality of life. Maybe you need to reframe the discussion into the fact that you need to start going fishing again because being still calms your mind, or whatever the case may be, rather than you've gotten me away from the things I enjoy. This isn't the life I want. The problem seems is that you haven't indicated any sources of happiness in your relationship and haven't given her any real direction as to what will help you. You haven't given her indications where you might be able to compromise on a few things to help you out. On top of that, you had a nice night and then all of a sudden just complained how you spent 5 hours with her. Think about that. While you both need to find happiness in your relationship, you clearly have gone about this the wrong way. It's your inability to communicate effectively which is the issue. You in no uncertain terms blamed her for your unhappiness. She didn't force you to adapt to her lifestyle. You never communicated otherwise. You just went with it until you were in this hole and then just dropped bombs on her out of nowhere. Couples counseling would be a good first step for you. Next story 2. Am I just bored and privileged? I have been with my partner for about 2 years. We've had ups and downs, some more serious and some less serious. I assume them to be the normal amount for any given relationship. We're in a good place now, recently got a new apartment together, new jobs, exploring a new city, etc. I've been enjoying all this greatly. However, I have had this feeling like something is just a little bit off. I don't feel very satisfied or particularly fulfilled. I struggle to say for sure if I'm feeling unfulfilled in my relationship. Maybe it's a different aspect of my life, but I'm trying to explore the option of it being my relationship. My partner and I have many differences. I might even go as far to say we have a lot of differences. But despite those, we've always had chemistry and we've always gotten along with each other very well. But I wonder if those differences are taking their toll. A couple big ways we are different. One is that I am more open, vulnerable, and people-oriented. Whereas he is more subdued, task-focused, and not very interested in anything that doesn't directly relate to him, e.g. if I have something going on that doesn't affect him directly, he tends to not care. Another is that I am very social and he is far less social, though he is actively trying to put himself out there more. So I often really want to bring him to get-togethers and he is less stoked about the idea. As well as just getting drained and needing time alone far more often than I. We also differ in life philosophies, or whatever you want to call it. I have the idea that you should chase happiness and do what makes you most happy in life. Whereas he has the ideology that you have to make progress and constantly be working to better yourself in order to live a fulfilling life, which, if that is what makes him happy, then you could argue we actually agree on that point. We have talked about all of the previous things and are working to better compromise with each other, so it's not like we are stuck or not communicating on problems. All of that to say that I am not actively unhappy with my relationship, but I feel a little stagnated/unfulfilled, and I can't seem to find any particular reason for my discontentedness. I'm really just looking for any thoughts/advice/different perspectives on my situation. Don't forget to have a good day. Wow, that got long. Comment. It would hurt to have a partner who doesn't care about your interests. He should care about them even if they have nothing to do with him, because they make you happy and you care about them. I don't know what the right answer is. It all depends on how you feel. At some point the exciting new honeymoon phase wears off and love becomes more of a daily choice to continue enjoying each other. Does he choose you too? Is this how you want to feel for the rest of your life? Is this someone you have fun with? Who makes you feel like a better person? Who supports you? Who would be a good spouse, parent, etc.? Next story 3. My boyfriend keeps obsessive tabs on what I owe him. I have been with my boyfriend for almost 4 years now and we live together. Unfortunately, due to worsening chronic health reasons, I am not able to work as many hours as I used to. I am able to make ends meet, however, it is difficult to spend extraneously on entertainment and other unnecessary expenses. I have a lot of medical bills and expensive meds that keep me from having extra spending money. I am okay with saving money and staying in, as I am more introverted and don't mind staying in most days, plus with my medical condition it makes it difficult to go out sometimes. My boyfriend on the other hand is very extroverted and feels the need to go out a lot. The problem is, I can't always afford to pay him back. He will remind me I owe him for, say, the few drinks I had, any little expense. I try to pay it forward and pay for him from time to time as well, but I never charge him half. In my mind, it relatively evens out if we switch off paying for each other. At this point I feel like I don't want to go out with him, as he will just expect me to pay for all my expenses. So last time I told him to go out without me as I need to save money. He got annoyed and told me I must not be spending my money wisely. I worry if we are to get married, he will have these expectations. I in no way want to mooch off of him, but I also hate being reminded of every little thing he purchased for me. I was such a hard worker and got a promotion before my health worsened. It pains me to see me making a lot less than I used to. I hate not being able to focus on advancing in my career now. He makes double my income, so it's a bit of a hit to my ego. I get the sense that if we do share finances in the future, he will not want to help with my medical costs. Unfortunately, because I have had a lot of surgeries, my family has to help me a bit financially. I don't know that I will ever be able to 100% cover my medical bills if I continue to have this many medical costs, and I feel a lot of guilt that I am a walking money pit. I don't think he realized that my conditions would become a chronic, and potentially a lifetime ordeal. My health took a turn for the worse 2 years ago, and at the time it was thought it will resolve itself. So he definitely didn't sign up for a life like this, as I was healthy when he met me. We had a talk about my medical expenses, and he told me that he doesn't know that he'll be able to help afford them, as he really wants children, and that is a lot of expenses in itself. I'm not sure how to proceed or if we should try couples therapy. Our relationship was so strong before I got diagnosed. It feels like he resents me for it, whether or not he's aware. But then he can also be very empathetic and caring when I have flare-ups. He is such a wonderful guy outside of this. I feel like my health is ruining our relationship and don't know what to do. I wanted to see if anyone has any recommendations on how I can talk to him about this without sounding like a mooch. Comment. He keeps obsessive tabs on what you owe him. Like your own BF cares so deeply about money that he insists the love of his life, who doesn't earn the same income and has medical conditions, pay every single penny back to him. He sounds like a grade A dick. Major red flags, and I doubt he would support you if you two got serious and got married. Hope it works out, but I'd address it or leave him. Yeah, we had a conversation in the past and he thought I was mooching off of him as I wasn't paying him back for everything. It's tough B/C. I hate feeling dependent on others for money. If it is my own expense, such as clothes and skincare, etc., I fully don't expect him to pay for that. But if something is his idea and he wants me to go along, say to a concert, I just can't justify those expenses that often. I may need to have another conversation, and if we still aren't seeing eye to eye, then I need to reassess things. There is definitely some deeper issues into play, as I know how important having kids is to him. It was important to me until my health problems started, but now I just have to focus on my needs before I can even think about having kids. I'm not in a place to raise a child, and he would be taking on way more parenting duties than I. So I am almost certain he is bitter about this. He knows where I stand though, since we had a big conversation about kids. Last he told me he just wants me to feel better and the kids topic can wait.